I was sent this footage and I just want to show that there's something really wrong with the footage, and that we're looking at different coloured people all the time, even though it's meant to be white people. So I've broken the footage down. These are Russian people. Anyway, watch and sort of enjoy, because, well, it's a horror movie really. This video is especially for my friend Russian vids. It's a little bit difficult to see the footage when most of the faces are ended up being blanked out, but I wonder why they're blanked out. And a little bit later on I'm going to show you that this is fake footage, but anyway, I think he's a black man. His face is blanked out. His face is blanked out. Do you see? Anyway, we're going through the crowds. I think this is a black man here, look. It's a person that's been covered up. This one here. You can actually see the line over his head. See, he's got a different hat on underneath there. We'll just follow him through. But he's not real anyway. We're looking at people that may be a Pakistani colour, or see, his face has been covered up. He's got like a, I don't know what it is. Look at his. Just look at that. Anyway, the bit where I said was that sometimes they're walking amongst the people, but they're soldiers basically. So anyway, I think he's a dark-skinned person. Watch the person under the arrow. Look at that. His face has turned into a box. It's a box because to cover up the real person. To cover up the real person, or it's just they want to try and make you look like there's real footage when there wasn't. It's hard to tell what's going on there. Look at the man where the arrow is. His face changes quite the person because he's not real. What happens to the people? They just all go weird. Come on. I mean, these faces are now blanked out. Look at his hat. Do you see what I mean on his hat? It's just, he's been superimposed. And lack of, how can you tell how anybody is? Do you see that? This soldier here, look at him. Totally manipulated. This is real. Did you see how he jumped? Looking at this guy here. None of their faces look real. See, he jumped. This one on the end here, he jumped as well, look. They've turned into different people. Now look at the colour of him. They're more Asian coloured, I reckon. Yeah, I do. Anyway, I don't want to make it too long because, you know, you're going to have to watch it because I'm uploading it for you, Russian vids. Let's zoom out a little bit. There's another one there, look. And maybe that one there as well is darker skinned. I don't know. Anyway, they've all been superimposed in. I'm going to show you in a minute. See, look, he's got a box round him. Look, he's got a box round him. Oops. Sorry. Box round his head there. So he's not real either. His face isn't right. I think he's a dark person. I think he's a dark person. I don't know. They're just, none of them look right. These are dark people. These two are dark people, I reckon. But it's what's happening. Where is it? Yeah, it's what's going to happen across here that's going to be interesting in a minute. And also some soldiers come in at the end. Let's go over here. Actually, I want this bit here. So whoever walks in front of it, you'll see. Sometimes they have white face on them. Like one's coming in here with his hat on. He's got a white face. I think these people are darker people. He's probably darker because they've sort of been filled. Their face is taken off, really. Just darker skinned people. Or just manipulated into the pictures. You know, whatever's going on in here, because none of these faces are real. Look, I'm sorry, I just don't believe they're real. There, look, people have been superimposed in. Watch as they walk in front of this building here. And he's dark skinned. Look, he's dark skinned and he's dark skinned. Look at that. Do you see it? Building is through his head. See how bad that is? I don't know what's happened. There's a dark skinned person. Just have to slow the footage down. Have a look. I mean, for all we know, they did this. Not but they did it. They superimposed it on. They had the technology in those, but a lot of white dots turn up all over the place, and those are the marks, you know, to. They just are. There you go. There's more going on. Look at now. He's got the building going through him. Let's put it over here. And then look at the size of that person compared to them. Look how small she is. That's not right. And the building's through his head. But at normal speed you don't notice things. Right, there's a dark skinned person. There's a dark skinned person. Building through his head. Lady. You want a bit more of the building on so you can keep on. Because the soldiers are going to come up in a minute. There you go. He lost his head for a moment and he's darker skinned. They're darker skinned people. Watch how many heads go over that building and fade. There you go. All those people aren't real. The building's through all those people there. you go, another person here with the building through his head. Building through their heads. Faces change. Wobble, 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 wobble. They keep changing. They keep changing. And it's really hard to work out what's really going on. I mean, to be honest, it's slow it down. It's a horror movie. Much skin. I think they've just been covered up. Look at that man's head. Watch his head. Look at him again. That is through his head. Oh, so boring. And these ones haven't got their faces because I think they're darker people and they've been blanked out. Really walking because they've been put in. They've been put in. Their heads disappeared here, and their faces change as they walk through. And look at his head; it keeps disappearing. He's got a blanked out face. He's got a blanked out face. He's blanked out. That's a black man. Or a much darker man there. There's a darker man. And there's a darker man. They're not white, they're darker. The soldiers in the middle is a darker skinned person. Are African. But these people, a lot of them are darker skinned people. All trying to make it look like they're white people, but they're not. They're darker skinned people. Darker skinned people. Keep seeing it all the time. See darker skinned people. I mean, there's a white person. There's a white person. That person's darker. I think they're all intermingling with each other. And just look how many times their heads to the building are going through their heads. That's a darker person. There's a darker person. This is where the soldiers come in. Yeah, here's the soldiers. Back a bit to see what happens with them. I mean, look at the size of that person. That's a tiny person compared to them. What's going on with that person? Don't know, they've all had their faces blanked out. So it's a bit hard to work out what's going on. He's lost his face. She's got a white face. I'm not sure. Just what to see. I think that's a darker person. Look, he's lost his hat. You can see through his hat. We've all been superimposed in. This isn't a real scene. That's a darker person. That's a darker person. There you go. Darker person. Darker person. They're darker people. There's a light person. And let's move this up a bit. Yeah, that's what I see. These are darker people here, look. Darker people. Problems with their heads. They're all darker people. Anyway, you can see through his head. Is that enough, Russian vids? I've made it 15 minutes long.